All right, everybody, it's that time of the month again. You already know. Time for the latest batch of tier shifts in Scarlet and Violet, and this is a special occasion because this is in a post-home metagame where we have all this crazy stuff going around. As you can see, there's a lot here to go over. So yeah, let's not waste any time and let's just jump right into things because there's a lot to say. But actually, before we get into the actual shifts, I actually want to talk about the usage stats first and foremost for OU because I think they're pretty interesting. I mean, we have the stats for the other tiers, but I don't think there's like not much to say on them really because most of the tiers besides Ubers haven't really been affected by the new home update. And I don't really play Ubers, so I don't have much to say on that either way. But yeah, I mean, I guess, Hisuian Quillfish is running things in PU, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't got that much to say really. But as far as OU goes, I have quite a bit to say. So yeah, if we look at the top 10, we see a lot of familiar faces. Great Tusk still on top, my goat. He will never die. He'll never leave. You cannot defeat him. Yes. And then we got the familiar faces. Iron Valiant, King Gambit, Golden Go, Dragonite. They've been around. They're still doing their thing. But we also have quite a new faces from home. That's really shaking things up. Most notably, I think we got Hisuian Samurott at number 5 usage, and that's pretty crazy. I mean, I know people have been using Samurott like crazy. Now, it was definitely going to be OU, just like from how much people were using it. But like number 5 is like kind of crazy. Like that shit kind of surprised me a lot when I saw it. I mean, if you saw my video about Samurott, then you get the gist, right? Ceaseless Edge is a crazy move. If you guys don't already know still, it automatically sets up spikes every time you use it, so it also gets boosted by sharpness, so it's actually quite strong. It's basically just like a zero dropback move, right? Because there's nothing that's immune to it, and you're always getting up your spikes regardless. Like, you can't really stop them from going up, so it's just, this thing's just kind of insane, despite its pretty like lackluster stats. At least at first glance you look at these and they're not that crazy, but like just this move is like so like insanely good. That's just enough to propel Samurott this high up in usage, which is kind of crazy to me. Yeah, and of course, I mean, it's not just Ceaseless Edge. I mean, it's mostly Ceaseless Edge, but like, he's got knockoff and stuff, and Water Stab. He's got decent coverage with like Sacred Sword and stuff. He's definitely, he does a few things. And, Water Dark's just a great typing in general. But, I mean, yeah, I think it's mostly, if he didn't have this move, it wouldn't be doing numbers like that. But, it's just, it's kind of crazy. And then we also got a Namorous at number 7. I was totally 100 billion% expecting this thing to be super good, and it turns out I was right, because I mean, if you with stats like these and a typing as good as Fairy Flying, I didn't think there was any way it wouldn't be good. I definitely don't think it's broken. Like, I don't think there's any worry of this thing getting banned at any point, but like it's just such a solid Pokemon. It's a great Scarfer. You can set up with it. It's got the perfect coverage to round out its Fairy Stab. Like, it's just, this thing's really good. It's just really good, dude. I don't know what else to say. This mod is always going to be good, and yeah, people are really liking it so far. Galarian Slowking being in the top 10 is super hype. Super hype. The main reason, I mean, Galarian Slowking was always a great mod. People used him a ton in Gen 8. Pretty sure he was always OU, like, since he dropped in Gen 8. But the main reason people are using him so much more nowadays is because of Chilly Reception, which only him and regular Slowking get. But Galarian Slowking has, probably arguably, better typing defensively. I guess you could argue, but like, I feel like this one's just a little bit better at taking hits. And, he's got all this, the crazy move pool that you'd expect. Um, yeah, he's just like having chili receptions really, really big for this mon because a lot of mons lost, actually, most mons lost teleport, including Slowking and Slowbro, and now they would use that as their main way of like switching out, because that you bring it in to take a hit and then you teleport out, and because teleport is negative priority, you'd always go last, so you could safely bring something in. But now most mons can't do that, but Slowking still can with chili reception, even though it's not negative priority, because he's so slow. He's probably going to go last anyway. So yeah, people aren't really using this to set up snow, as far as I'm aware. I don't think like snow teams are really a thing on the ladder. But yeah, Slowking, he's hype. He's back. He's doing his thing. Very cool to see. And of course, we also had Zapdos at number 10. Zapdos, he'll always be that dude, right? You can take away Defog from him, right? But you cannot stop his reign of supremacy in OU. He will always and forever be him, right? Because the typing is just so good, the stats are just so good. His move pool isn't like that deep really, but he doesn't really need to be because he gets everything he needs, right? You got like Discharge, Heat Wave, Hurricane, T-Bolt, U-Turn, Volt Switch, Roost. That's basically it. That's pretty much all you need. And I mean, he's pretty good with Terra if you're using him offensively, like on a rain team or something. You could totally do that. And yeah, he's just always been the GOAT. And that's not gonna stop anytime soon. He's still putting in work, which we love to see. We really do love to see. But yeah, I mean, besides just top 10, here if we can go over this image so we can get a better look, get a little close up. We see a lot of the new boys, like not quite in top 10, but still, getting used a lot. Sneasler at 11. This mon's really good. Again, you saw my video on it. He's really, really good. I still feel like they probably should ban Dire Claw just because it is a pretty stupid move. But like, besides that, this mon's super cool. He's got Unburden, so if you run an Unburden sets, then this thing's like an insane sweeper because he's basically faster than everything, right? Pretty sure, isn't he? Yeah, he's even faster than Booster Valiant, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, he's just super duper. I mean, look at these stats. It's just look at that. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't get a ton of great coverage, which is, I think, his main downside. But I think, he's definitely proven his worth in OU. I'm not that surprised to see him getting used so much. But yeah, Excalibur also chilling at number 12, no less. That's pretty good for him, honestly, because he was, he fell down to UU for a while. He got banned from that, but people weren't really feeling backs in OU for a little bit, but now they're hopping back on the hype train, which is always cool to see. Zama is still here. He's still chilling. The suspect has happened, and everyone was like, well, not everyone, but most people were like, yeah, you know what? He can chill. He can hang, which I honestly wasn't expecting on. Like, I was kind of anticipating this thing to get banned, just because I remember when I was using it, like it just seemed really strong. Like this thing is absurdly fast. Like, it's the second fastest thing in the tier. I'm pretty sure only Bolt is faster than this thing. And it's just like, 120 is not like crazy strong, but like you put a choice band on him, bro, and it's like he can kind of do the work. And like he doesn't have like great coverage. Like, he got close combat, crunch for ghost types, and then like the Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Play Rough. I guess you could run Psychic Fangs. Stone Edge. I guess that's pretty good. But yeah, not a crazy move pool, but still, I just thought, like, because these stats are just so ridiculous. I wasn't sure. Mainly the speed. I wasn't sure if it would be balanced in the tier because of that. But people say, hey, you know what? He can chill, and he's rocking at 13. So good for him. Good for him. Salma finally getting his chance in OU. Next up, I gotta be this is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking for me. This is so tragic, folks. I need uh, a billion F's in the comments for my boy. Pour one out. Ladonders T. You poor thing. They did you so dirty. Now to be clear, he's still number 14, which is like that's very respectable usage, right? Like he's still people still using it, but like he's not cutting it like he used to. 'Cause Lando T was like always like minimum a top 10 mon in OU since like forever. But now he's falling off, bro. It's really sad to see. Now why are not people moving away from Lando T? Well, one reason is because he got nerfed quite heavily in this gen. It took away defog, took away knockoff, took away superpower. They took away rock polish. They took a lot away from my boy. Took away toxic. Can't do that. He lost a lot of good moves, and that really hurt him quite a bit. Definitely was a blow to his viability. But beyond that, the other main reason why people aren't using him as much is because Great Tusk exists, and he kind of arguably I feel like is better than Lando T because he got the photosynthesis. So if you got the booster on him, or if you're running him in Sun, then you get that big stab boost. I think crucially he is a hazard remover, and he's still by far the best hazard remover in the whole tier. I don't think it's really close, and I think that really gives him an edge over Lando. He can still set up rocks. He's still a great ground type that you can run defensively or offensively. He gets knockoff, and he's just like the GOAT. He's just the GOAT. He's him. Now, granted, I still think there are valid reasons that you'd want to use Landorus over him in some situations, because that flying typing with the ground immunity plus intimidate are super valuable for sure. Like don't get me wrong, but I just feel like Tusk most of the time just is better for a team because again the hazard removal, and he's just like he kind of stole Lando's flow. If I'm gonna be real, like he just kind of does most of his stuff better. Also, Lando still has U-turn, which Tusk does not have, so that's another thing that he has over him, that he can pivot out like that and whatnot. But yeah, Tusk, he kind of I don't want to say outshines Lando, because again Lando he's still chilling at 14 in usage. Like he's not completely outclassed, but he's just like he's got some stiff competition. Yeah, it's a little rough for the boy. And then we got Heatran at 15, which is also quite tragic, if I do say so myself, because Heatran, again, a mon who was always like top 10 material, but now he's still great. He's still Heatran, right? Don't get it mixed up, but like he's struggling a little bit, probably because the best mon in the tier is a ground type. So yeah, that kind of makes it rough for him. He also lost Toxic, which I don't think is the worst thing ever for him. Yeah, I mean it kind of sucks, but he's still Heatran. He keeps most of his moves, so I don't think he can't poison chip things now, but I don't think it's the worst thing. I think he's still pretty good, all things considered. Didn't you lost Eruption too, so that also sucks for like Scarf sets. But I think Heatran still does what he does very well. He can switch in. I mean, there's a lot of threats running around. A lot of ground types, a lot of fighting types, a lot of things that have coverage for him. But he can switch into some really strong moves that are getting thrown around in the tier. Like he can switch into Draco from Pult, or like let's say Make It Rain from Golden Go, a Moon Blast from Enamorous or Valiant. He still has amazing defensive capabilities, and like there's just no mon that can do what Heatran does. Like he's irreplaceable. He's his own thing. Like no one does it like Heatran does it. So I think he's gonna always have a place in the tier, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like you normally don't see him this low. It's kind of crazy, pretty crazy indeed. This gen, man, it's really you never know what to expect with it. And then we got Urshifu here, who was banned, so it doesn't really matter. Along with Magearna, Chien-Pao, and Volcarona. So yeah, they all got banned. So their stats don't really matter that much anymore. But yeah. And as far as like the rest of the new guys, Ursaluna at number 20, big chillin'. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little surprised Ursaluna's still around, because I kind of think this mon's broken. Because there's like really no good switch-ins at all in the game, because like everything just gets two-shot by Guts boosted Facade, I feel like. Yeah, and it's just like, it's just kind of crazy. And if they don't get two-shot, well, you got Swords Dance, so there you go. That'll fix that issue for you. Yeah, I think this thing's insane, and I know it's very slow, which like is a downside, but like, people have been running it on Trick Room, and like plus if you invest in speed, I feel like this is like 199 is like good enough for a wall breaker like this thing, right? Like you're still faster than most of the slow bulky mons in the tier that you'd want to like just punch holes through. So yeah, no, I still think this thing's really crazy. I would not be surprised at all if it gets suspected at some point or just straight up banned. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. But for the time being, he's still here. So I'm just saying, folks, like get it in while you still can. Pause, just to go out and use this guy before I do him dirty, because he's super fun. For as dumb as he is, and how I think he probably shouldn't be allowed, he's extremely fun, I gotta admit. So yeah, go invest in your Ursaluna stocks before the crash. I'm telling you, that's gonna happen. Trust your local squad leader. But anyways, yeah, not as far as like the rest of the stats, not that much is that crazy so far. I mean, like, Hat is fallen off quite a bit, I think. Cause I feel like he's probably in like top 15 or at least top 20 for the past few months now, but now it's fallen off a little bit, which I think a lot of that has to do with Hisui and Samurott, because like Hat was like the magic bouncer in the tier, right, to keep hazards off, but Ceaseless Edge just goes through magic bounce, so that Hat can't really block that, so it's definitely put a damper on its viability, I think. Still a great mon, but like, it is a little rough. And also, I guess, Enamorous being in the game, a little more competition for a fairy type. So yeah, it's a little rough out here for Hat, because Samurott doing her dirty. Very sad, very sad. But yeah, Hoopa at 33. I feel like, I don't know, I'm a little biased. I'm a big Hoopa fan. I think he's stupid, and just look at these stats, bro. Just look at these stats. he's just crazy. And I know, he's not the fastest, and he's very frail on the physical side, but like he gets all these insane moves. He's just super fun and crazy strong. So I'm a little surprised people aren't using him more, especially because I feel like now, because the main thing back in Gen 7, I feel like the main thing that was holding Hoopa back a lot was pursuit trapping, because, right, again, he's very physically frail, so, bring in, I'm on like T-Tar or Weavile or whatnot, and then you could pursuit it, and that was really rough for Hoopa, but now pursuit's not in the game, so that's, that's a big weight off his shoulders, so I feel like he could definitely put in some work, but I guess people haven't been looking at him too much, which I guess is fair, because there's a bunch of other insane shit running around at this point already, so we'll see what happens. Maybe people will start moving towards him a little more in the future. Garchomp at 37 is just very sad. It's extremely sad. Poor Chomper. he's also one of those mons where he's always been the GOAT. He's always been GOAT. I mean, he's not fallen down to Yu, at least not yet. I mean, I hope he doesn't go the way of T-Tar. If this guy drops to Yu, I will not know how to feel about that. If for even a single day, if Garchomp ends up in the Yu tier, I don't know. I don't know. I might do something irrational if that happens, because like Garchomp's always been one of the best mons ever in my opinion, and I feel like he should always be OU. And I still think he's great right now, but I mean, like, you know, Enamorus is a little rough for him, admittedly. That does sting a wee bit. But he's still Garchomp. Like, he's still the GOAT. So yeah, I'm just pretty surprised how low his usage has been. Dondozo at 40, that's kind of crazy, bro. If Dondozo drops down to Yu, that's gonna be rough for Yu, bro. Yikes. Ooh. And then, last but not least, let's talk about Sandy Shocks rising up. My boy Shiesty Shocks is in this bitch, bro. So this is quite momentous. So why are people using Shocks now? If you guys didn't know, you know, let's look over here. Sandy Shocks always been a very, very strong mon in Yu. As you can see, he's number 2 in usage. He's got 27%. So he's always been quite popular, but he's never really done it in OU, really. You know, most people have overlooked him pretty much since the games came out, and he's never really had, you know, much time in the spotlight in OU anyway. So why are people using him now? Well, a few reasons. One thing, his typing is great at walling out big Zapdos over here, which is very helpful. He's also a pretty decent spiker, which is always nice. And, you know, he's got reliable moves like Volt Switch, whatnot. And also, we can't forget Photosynthesis, so he has access to the booster energy shenanigans. Yeah, I mean, in general, I mean, he's not like getting used that much. He's only 41 out of 41 mons in OU in terms of usage. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he probably, I wouldn't be surprised if he drops back down in the next tier shift. But we'll see, because, like, you know, people aren't using him that much, but people are definitely, you know, looking at him now, which I think is cool, because I've always felt like the, you know, electric ground coverage on an offensive mon has always had a lot of promise, I feel like, but people weren't really looking at it that much before. But now I think, you know, people are starting to get put onto it, so that's pretty hype for my boy Sandy Shocks. And also, you know, people are running like Terra Blast ice sets, which are always fun. You know, you get the Bolt Beam coverage and the ice ground coverage at the same time. Kind of crazy, but yeah, my boy Shocks, he's finally getting some love. You love to see that. So that's pretty much it for OU. Definitely be interesting to see how things evolve going forward, if, you know, we're gonna have any more bans in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. But for now, things are looking pretty crazy, but also pretty fun, I feel like. You know, we got a lot of fan favorites back, you know, the boys. Shout out them. Zama's chilling. We got Enamorus now. You know, lots of fun new stuff to mess around with. But that's enough for OU, I think. Now let's properly talk about all of this, because this is a lot. It's a lot to go over. Here, let me pull up, you know, so we can get it in full view. So there's no way in hell that I can talk about everything on that, all the shifts that happen, because this is just way too much, and I cannot possibly go over everything in a reasonable amount of time. But I will go over, you know, what I think is the biggest changes and what I feel like, you know, deserves most attention. We're mainly gonna be focusing on, you know, this stuff right here, because that's gonna be fun. But yeah, as far as the rises go, I mean, we already talked about Sandy Shocks. Gardevoir moved up to UU, which is cool, and Didi went from UU all the way from NUBL, so that's pretty hype. Hisuian Sneasel is NU now, which is cool. Hisuian Quillfish is NU. Love to see it. So I guess, rip PU for that. That kind of blows, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, I don't have that much to say for the rises. There's not really anything crazy, because the main thing with this, with the after the home update and whatnot, is seeing all the guys who came back and seeing them, which ones dropped down. That's the real exciting stuff. So let's talk about that. But first, not a new guy, Hydreigon. He fell off from OU to UUBL, although I think, does it say on Showdown? It says he's UU on Showdown, so I don't know if he's BL or not. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But as far as why he dropped down, I'm assuming, Enamorus probably didn't help. Also, I guess you could already say, like, Hisuian Samurott maybe competed with him as a dark type. And also, Sneasler and Zamazenta running around, strong fighting types make it rough for him. So yeah, it's still, it's a little sad to see. But I mean, Hydreigon's still a great mon. For sure. But, it's just not his time, it looks like. But, that's how it goes. But without further ado, I'm sure you've all been waiting for me to talk about this. Let's get into the drops from OU to UU. There's a lot to say here. First of all, let's talk about, before I talk about what I want to talk about, let's talk about Torkoal. So, Torkoal dropping down to UU, because, sun, or just weather in general, it's just, I mean, Sun's in a pretty good spot, all things considered, this gen, because, all the photosynthesis bonds, but it's just like, it's not always the most viable to run. I mean, for a while at the start of the gen, you saw Sun a lot, but, like, it's definitely still has a place in the meta, I feel like, but, I just don't, it's just not getting used enough for Torkoal to be in the tier, which I think makes sense. So now he's chilling in UU, which is hype, because now we have Sun user in UU, which opens up the potential for Sun teams, which is very, very interesting and very worth looking into, because, as we will talk about very shortly, I think there's a lot of new guys that have a lot of potential on Sun. Mainly, what I want to talk about here, Hisuian Arcanine has fallen off. So this was kind of expected, because, I feel like I didn't see him that much in OU. I wasn't expecting him to be OU in the first place, but now he can really start cooking, quite literally. So first of all, right, like I said, with Sun, I think this dude on Sun teams is going to be absolutely insane, because you just got the stab, no recoil, Flare Blitz, and you can run the Terra Fire if you want, make it even stronger to the Sun boost. This thing is going to punch holes into everything. I think this guy's going to be super, super good on the Sun teams. So I definitely look out for that. I feel like I don't know what's going to happen with this guy. I don't see him dropping down any further, if I'm being honest. Like, his typing's not great defensively, but, like, he just hits so hard, I don't think it matters that much. And, like, he's just, I just feel like there's like not really much that can switch into him, especially if he's, Sun boosted Flare Blitz and whatnot, and especially if he Terras. Like, this thing is kind of a menace. Is he gonna get banned from UU? Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see, but I think he's definitely, a scary mon to look out for. And yeah, I think he's gonna put in mad work in UU. Hype to see what happens with him. Galarian Articuno, I don't care. I'm kind of surprised it's in UU even at all. I'm surprised it didn't drop down further. But hey, I guess whatever. Azelf, let's talk about my boy. Because I think, he's got a lot of potential now. Because if you didn't know, he's got a new signature move called the Mystical Power, which always raises your special attack when you use it. So, kind of like Torch Song, but it's psychic move. And I think Azelf could be really, really cool with this move, because I feel like Azov's always been, for the past few gens, has been very underwhelming. He used to be OU back in the day, but, he hasn't been able to cut it lately. It's just kind of rough for him. The power creep really got to him. But now with this move, I feel like he has a lot of potential. Because I feel like it's just such a good move. I mean, it's not 100% accurate, which is like, a little rough, but you could just, you just keep boosting yourself. Like, you just smoke people. If you get enough boosts off, like, I don't know. I think this move is very cool for him, and I think it opens up the opportunity for a lot of just a lot more, him seeing more usage, because I think definitely it has potential, and I'm really looking forward to see how people use him. I definitely think he's worth giving some attention now, because I just think it's just such a good move for him. I mean, we all know how good Torch Song is on Skeledirge, right? So I feel like you give a move like that to a mon with this much special attack, like, I don't know, like, might be Azov's time. I'm just saying, or maybe I'm just on copium, but hey, I mean, regardless, I think it's still gonna be a great mon in UU. Basculegion is falling down. Basculegion. So Basculegion, I think the male is mainly like a rain thing. Like, he's basically like a replacement for Floatzel. Like, kind of does the same thing. You got the Swift Swim, Terror Water, Choice Band, Wave Crash, all that stuff. That's pretty much it. He's basically, Floatzel 2.0, which is cool, but also it's like, his usage is kind of dependent on rain teams, which is, rain teams are never super popular, so it's kind of, it's not. He's definitely, you definitely can use him. There's definitely a place for him, but it's just not. He's not the most common Pokemon you'll see. So, yeah, that's why he fell off. Very simple. As far as the female, I think the female is a lot more interesting personally, because I think it's a much better user of adaptability, mainly because it actually has good, reliable Ghost Stab, unlike the male version. And I feel like this thing with adaptability is pretty crazy. It's kind of like almost like a special Crawdon. That's how I think about it, except not quite as strong. But I definitely think this mon has potential, and I don't know if it'll find its place in UU or if it'll fall down again. If it falls down to RU, this thing's gonna be insane. This thing's gonna put in mad amounts of work if that happens. But for the time being, I'm really curious how people will use Basculegion in UU. I definitely think it has some potential, but we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. So yeah, Hisuian and Braviary fell down. I'm still not sure what to make of Hisuian and Braviary. I feel like, it could do some work in UU, or maybe, drop down to RU. That could also happen. I'm just not sure with this thing, because it's like, it's so painfully slow, but at the same time, it has a really good signature move, wherever it is. What is it called? What's your freaking move? Where is it? Where's your freaking move? Esper Wing. There we go. Esper Wing, which always raises its speed, which is cool. There's some potential there. He also has Tinted Lens and Sheer Force, which are two great abilities to have. But yeah, I'm still not sure on this mon. Maybe UU will be the tier for it, or maybe not. Maybe it'll just drop down some more. We'll see. A lot of uncertainty with the new mons and whatnot. Still a lot gotta be tested. Breloom has fallen down from OU for the first time, as well as Ceruledge. So this is pretty crazy. Ceruledge, I was kind of expecting, it was kind of inevitable. I feel like he was always, for the past few tier shifts, just like barely hanging on, like just enough usage in OU. But now he's finally fallen off, which I think is fine, all things considered. I think he's gonna be a great mon in UU. Excited to see how people use him. I think he will put in the work for sure. Because he's got that old reliable he's just a strong mon. He's just really good. He may not be able to cut it in freaking OU anymore, but hey, I think he'll be great in UU. But let's talk about Breloom for a second, because this is crazy. I feel like Breloom was like he's another mon where he's the GOAT. He's him. I freaking love Breloom, but he's not getting the love anymore. Which, like, I mean, if we look at the tier, I mean, he's pretty good at dealing with Hisuian and Samurott. I feel like so that's kind of interesting. But I guess we do have a lot more flying types now, like Zapdos, Enamorus, Landorus, which, like, even if some of them don't have reliable flying stab, just being able to just having that typing that deals with Breloom so well is definitely a little rough for him. Also, I guess some more competition for fighting types, but I mean, I still feel like Breloom is a solid mon, but maybe just the power creep's can't quite keep up. I feel like he's gonna be crazy good in freaking in UU. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. Will he get banned? Maybe. I could see it happening. He was UUBL in Gen 7, I believe. So definitely there's precedent for him getting banned from a lower tier. So we'll have to see what happens with him. But definitely pretty crazy to see him drop down. And I think, it's worth giving him a try at some point. So yeah, I think he'll be very, very good. Very good indeed. Cresselia is in UU. Cresselia, I don't think anyone was really expecting it to be in OU, especially after, got the nerf to its defenses. But, Cresselia has always been, I feel like it's always found its home in the lower tiers where it can just be a bulky psychic type and just do its thing, take hits, maybe status, maybe, set up Trick Room if you were trying to do that, just do normal Cresselia stuff. So nothing really out of the ordinary there. Hisuian Decidueye dropped. I'm not sure if he'll stay UU. I still don't know what to make of Hisuian Decidueye, because again, he's like much like Braviary. He's so slow. It hurts. But he's got great moves. He's got Scrappy, which is always an amazing ability, especially on a fighting type. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. How people are going to use this guy. Like, I mean, with Breloom in the tier, I feel like he's got a lot of competition as far as the grass fighting type goes. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I still think I haven't seen much from this guy, but I think he does have potential. It's just, the speed really holds him back. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with him. But if I'm being honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he drops down to RU next time. Again, especially with Breloom around. We'll have to see what happens with him. Diancie in UU is cool. I think Diancie is really neat now because it has spikes. So not the Mega. No. Now you. Yes, you. You got spikes now, which is cool. I mean, Rock Fairy's always been like a weird typing, because I mean, this thing's got great defenses, but also like it's got a handful of weaknesses. I guess not that many, but like I don't know. Always been kind of weird typing, but not horrible. Like still, like Fairy's still great, even if Rock defensively isn't. So yeah, but I think definitely Diancie has potential to do some stuff. Hisuian Electrode, I'm not totally sure why he's UU. I was expecting him to be lower, but I guess Electrode, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. I mean, like the Terra Ice set is like pretty good, right? Because it's like decent coverage because you got the Bolt Beam and whatnot. But I think besides that, I don't know. He just doesn't have that much going for him. I mean, Grass Electric's a cool type and all, but I don't know. I feel like I've seen people gassing him up, but I mean, like, well, the special attack, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know if this guy's it. I really don't know. If he drops down further, That would not surprise me, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can do something in UU, or maybe not. I don't know. He's just I don't know. He's still Electrode in my eyes. So yeah, not much to say really. Enamorous Therian. Okay, this is a big one. This is a big red alert, folks. Red alert. Okay, so I was kind of expecting this thing to drop down, because I feel like it's not as versatile as the regular form. I think with this one main thing it does is just like set up shenanigans, which to be fair, I think it's pretty damn good at. But at the same time, it's like I don't know. It's just like this is good, but it's just kind of one note, right? But I think in UU, this thing's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really good because he's super defensive. Still has that amazing typing. Still has perfect coverage with Fairy plus ground, and like I think this thing's gonna be freaking insane when he's set up with it. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it ends up getting banned from UU and going to BL. I could totally see that happening at some point. Cause also like this thing's just so strong, dude. Especially once you're setting up with it. Yeah, this mon's kind of insane, if you ask me, in UU at least. So yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with it. Again, if it gets banned, would not surprise me at all. Glastrier, I mean, sure. I don't see this thing sticking around in UU, guys. I'll be honest, and that's not because I don't think it's gonna get banned. I think it's because, you look at these stats and they seem pretty epic, but that speed, like this, historically, these slow ice types have never really been it, even when they're that strong. You also lost high horsepower this gen, which kind of sucks. So now you got to use friggin' Stomping Tantrum, which is like okay, I guess, but like eh. I mean, I've seen people use like Terra Electric, which I think is pretty neat because you get that bolt beam coverage and whatnot. But I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's just he's so slow. I mean, hey, if he drops down to RU, I feel like maybe you could put in some work there, but I don't know if he can cut it in UU, guys. I'm gonna be real with you. But Hisuian Gudra, now we're talking. Now we're getting that good. Hisuian Gudra. I think this dude's gonna be fantastic in UU. I think he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna find a nice home here. He's gonna be a staple. The typing's amazing. Typing's phenomenal. And he's still a Gudra, right? He's still got all this amazing move pool. I feel like just like the biggest problem with Gudra is just like he's just like a pure dragon type, which is like, I mean, dragons are good, but like they're normally good when they're offensive, which like Gudra's got good offensive stats, but not like he's not really hitting, But they just gave him the steel type, and that kind of fixed all his issues. Because like again, steel plus dragons, amazing. And like, look at this bulk with the steel type. Stop it, dude. It's freaking nuts, bro. It's nuts, bro. Yeah, it's great with body press. That's definitely said you can run, or you can run like just a classic Gudra shenanigans with like a Soul Vest. You got your stab. You could maybe run Flash Cannon if you want to, but I don't know if it's that necessary. And then you got your coverage moves and whatnot. I think this thing's gonna be super fun to use in UU. And I'll see it sticking around in the tier, in my opinion. I feel like it's just like too hard to take down for most things for it, to drop off. I'm very excited to see Gudra finally have time to shine, because he freaking deserves it at this point, dude. He was always outclassed as far as the pseudos go, but now is his moment. Bless up for real. Cleaver is UU. This is interesting. So, you look at Cleaver and you look at Samurott, right? And they both kind of got the same thing going on, right? Well, Samurott has Ceaseless Edge, And then Cleaver has Stone Axe, which is, kind of the same thing, except it's a rock move and it gets up stealth rocks, which is definitely great. Don't get it wrong. Like, these are both great moves, but they both kind of do the same ish thing. So like, why is Samurott so much better? Well, first of all, the typing is leagues better, so much better. And also, with Ceaseless Edge, you can get multiple layers of spikes, which is always nice. Plus, while the rocks are helpful, like most things that are weak to rock now just run boots, so it's a little, you not gonna be getting as much out of them as you would have before, 'cause you would have been hitting all the stuff that's weak to rocks for a ton of damage, but now, it's a little bit less. And I mean, you could say the same for spikes, right? Like, if they have boots, they're not going to be affected, but if they don't have boots, then, well, if you have multiple layers up, they're going to be taking a lot more than they would from rocks, again, because like most mons that are weak to rocks would probably be running boots most of the time anyway. So yeah, that is, does make it a little rough for Cleaver to compete with Samurott, but with Cleaver, maybe he can find a place in UU, because I mean, his stats really aren't that bad. Like, he's really strong, he's pretty decently fast too. Again, typing's not great for him, but he can still, make it work. I feel like just a little bit. He's got stuff going for him for sure. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess, if like if he'll still be held back by his type, or maybe he can like make good use of Terra in this tier. We'll see. And I mean, he doesn't have to compete with Samurott for the whole setting up with the hazards thing, so that's nice for him. So yeah, I mean, I could see him definitely having a role in UU, but at the same time, I wouldn't be that surprised if he dropped down again. But we'll see what happens. I definitely think I'd like UU or RU was like always what I was predicting with this guy, so we'll see where he ends up. But for now, I think he's doing all right. Lilligant. So we in Lilligant. This thing's awesome. This thing's gonna wreck shop, because again, guys, don't forget what I told you. I know you guys didn't forget that our boy is in UU. So now we got Sun teams, and guess what? This thing has chlorophyll, so it's gonna be crazy. I think this thing's gonna be the super duper good, bro. I think this thing's like, watch out. Like, even if it's not on Sun teams, I think it's still gonna be great. For one thing, I feel like it's a lot like more free in this tier, right? Because the problem, you look at this coverage, right? What switches into this? Golden Go. So that's rough if you're using this thing in OU. And you could run like Terra Blast Fire for him, I guess, right? But then like then you're walled by like most bulky waters and stuff. Like, you can't hit Pex. Well, I guess you can't really hit Pex that hard anyway. But like, also, you kind of want the ice spinner to hit flying types, right? So I feel like just like in OU, there's just too much that like this thing couldn't hit everything that it wanted to in OU, because there's too many switch-ins. But in UU, that could be a different story. Yeah, I feel like I think on Sun teams, this thing's gonna go crazy. But even off Sun, you could run the freaking Victory Dance. You could do Hustle. I'm not the biggest fan of Hustle, but hey, Wide Lens is there. And yeah, just run it up. I don't know, dude. I think Lilligant, this might be Lilligant's time. I mean, at least as long as Sun is in the tier. We'll have to see. But yeah, really excited for that. Meloetta dropped down. That's pretty not anything crazy. Meloetta usually a lower tier mon. But Meowscarada, let's talk about that. So not only Meowscarada, right? But if you might have seen on this image as well, that my boy fucking Big Dirge dropped down too. So this is kind of a big deal. This is kind of a big deal, right? Because at the start of the gen, all three starters were very good. They were all OU, which like I don't even remember when the last time that happened, when a new gen came out and like all the starters were good in the meta. But you know, like a few months ago, Quavel fell down to UU because he was always the least used of the three, and you know he just kind of wasn't cutting it anymore, which is understandable. But you know, Meowscarada and Dirge were still chilling, but no, not anymore. And it's kind of sad to see. I think both of these guys are gonna be insanely good in UU, like super good, possibly bannable, but we'll have to see. This thing's gonna go crazy because it's so fast, hits very hard, just like kind of hard to switch into. Really, it's just like this thing's really good, guys. This is a good mon. So is Big Dirge. I feel like I don't even know, like, if there's anything that can break through this thing in UU, because he's just so darn bulky, bro. He's such a thick lad. It's definitely gonna be hard to deal with him in the tier, I feel like. But I mean, you know, I just feel, you know, I think they're both great. I think they're both definitely. I would not be surprised if both of them end up being BL. I could totally see that, because they're both just like so strong. Like you're just so fast and like good offensively, and then you're just so tanky and hard to get rid of. Like just, yeah, I think these guys are gonna be really good. Gonna be really good. So watch out for them. Kind of sad though to see all the starters have fallen off just a little bit. Rest in peace. Mew. So if you guys saw my video talking about the Pokemon Home mons, then you would know already that Mew got hit very hard, extremely hard, because it lost all of its healing moves, and that basically means you can't run defensive sets like at all, which sucks for Mew because its whole thing is supposed to be like versatility, and it can do all this fun stuff, right? But not anymore. Not anymore. Now I feel like you're pretty much limited to offensive sets and, you know, bleed hazards, which, I mean, you could do, but also I think there's a lot of mons that can do the whole stacking, you know, lead hazards thing. And, you know, I just don't know with Mew anymore, dude. Like maybe it'll be fine in UU, but also maybe not. Maybe it'll drop down again. I have no clue. With Mew anymore, dude, because they took away all his juice, his sauce. And it's just rough for the boy now. So we're gonna have to see what happens with him. Moltres and Galarian Moltres, both of them. I think both of these dudes are gonna be great in the tier, because they've kind of always been great, right? I mean, you're just like, I mean, you don't have Defog anymore, which kind of sucks, but I feel like you're just just so nice defensively and not bad offensively either, for that matter. But yeah, I mean, you're just, oh, you lost Mystical Fire. Damn, that's rough. That's very rough. Probably just like Flamethrower instead, right? Yeah. You don't have Scorching Sands either, do you? Damn. Yeah, they did kind of do my boy dirty, didn't they? Yikes. I mean, I think he's still great. I think he's still, you know, defensively anyway, he still takes hits like a beast. Again, I don't think offensive sets are that bad either. Just boots were such a blessing for this thing. Is he gonna stay OU, or excuse me, UU? I mean, maybe I could see it, but you know, he did get nerfed quite a bit. Took away a lot of good moves, so we'll see how he adapts to that. But you have also always been just like a really good mon. You don't get Roost, that's right. They did not let you prosper, my friend, to your full potential. But yeah, like, you're good. You got this whole thing going with Berserk's cool. Like, definitely a solid mon, very scary once it gets set up. And yeah, I feel like it's always been pretty good in UU. So I don't see any reason it would be any different. And this gen, Muck, Alolan Muck, it's his time finally. Let's talk about my boy. I missed him so much last gen. They took him out, and just it wasn't the same. But now he's back, baby. He's back and better than ever. They gave him Drain Punch, which is awesome. On Assault Vest, bro. Still has knockoff. He's just, it's just so good having him back. He's got the phenomenal typing, bro. Poison Dark, only weak to ground. Beautiful. Stats, very, I think they're solid in my opinion. He's got great HP, solid attack, good special defense, okay defense. You know, I think it's good enough to get by with his typing. And like, yeah, he's just always been sick. Always been a favorite of mine to use. He's just really fun. Has a lot of fun moves. And I think he'll be pretty good in UU, honestly. I'm excited to use him. I'm glad he's back. Overquill. Overquill's cool. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a UU material, because I think one of the coolest things it has going for it is you can run it on rain teams, but it's not a water type, so you can have more type diversity. But of course, you know, Pelipper's OU, so you can't really do the whole freaking rain stuff in UU. So I mean, besides that, I mean, it's got Intimidate, which is, you know, pretty good for it. You can run like bulkier defensive sets because you even got the spikes and whatnot, which is always sick. Again, another Poison Dark type. They're just always, it's just a great type in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you got a lot of cool stuff going for you. So I'm interested to see if people are gonna use it, or if they're gonna, like, I don't know, maybe because there's a lot of other stuff going on in UU right now. So who knows? People will be attracted to this thing, but we'll see what happens. I feel like either way, he still has some potential going for him. Regidrago. Ooh, this is a fun one. They gave my boy some love this gen. They finally gave him some coverage. He's got Earthquake and Earth Power, so ground coverage for physical or special sets. It's about time. About time they give him something, bro. Yeah, I think now he's got like quite a bit of potential. What do you run for your third move? I don't know, like for the Fire Fang. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to them. I mean, like, Dragon ground coverage like is just amazing. You know, we all know that from Garchomp at this point, and I feel like this guy will definitely be able to use it very well on like a Dragon Hit set like this, or you could even run a special. Not Regidrago. Yeah, so you can run the special set with its move Dragon Energy, because basically just like Dragon Water Spout. So you can do that. You have Earth Power to hit Steel types. Still not a lot of coverage on the special side, but hey, you know, this guy is, you know, got a very strong stab, and you know, Terra Blast still there. You know, maybe a freaking you could do like Terra Blast Fairy for like hit, you know, be immune to dragon moves and also have more coverage. You could do Terra Steel maybe, hit fairy types. You know, definitely a lot of possibilities for this guy with Terra. But yeah, I think Regidrago is going to be sick. I'm very excited to see how he gets used. I'm really looking forward to it. I think he really has a shot to be good this gen. So that's very hyped to see. Let's talk about you. Oh boy, fucking Rillaboom, bro. They clipped his balls. Poor guy. He lost it. He lost it all, bro. He lost the glide. Whoop. He lost his bread and butter, dude. He freaking lost superpower. He freaking. It's just so sad to see. I mean, Grassy Glide was really the main thing, right? That did him over. Which, I mean, I get why they nerfed him, right? Because he was crazy both in singles and in doubles. He was going insaneo. But now he just can't do it like that anymore, and it's rough for him. So now he's basically just without Grassy Glide. He's just like a knockoff Tapu Bulu in my head. That's pretty much how I think of him at this point. But even still, I feel like, he's definitely not UU or OU potential anymore, which sucks for him. But I still think he can do some work in UU. I think he still has potential in this tier. Even if, he's not doing it like he used to, but still, I think this, like, you could totally, like, Banded Woodhammer in the terrain is not something to mess with. With Terra, too, if you want to just go Terra Grass, just nuke stuff, bro, like, that is scary. It's something you should watch out for, definitely. Like, even if he's not gliding on you, like, he still hits hard. And, like, also, and there's still room for, bulkier sets with, like, setup potentially. Like, I mean, you gotta run, like, what, like, drum beating for your grass stab, which is kind of like, drum beating, really? Like, but I mean, he's still, I think he'll find a place in his new home in the UU tier. I think he'll be okay, all things considered. But yeah, his time in OU is probably is done for, so rest in peace. But hey, a terrain setter dropping down to a lower tier is always cool, in my opinion, because it opens the door for a lot of more cool, new, interesting strategies in those tiers. So yeah, Dirge we went over Galarian Slowbro and Slowking. So this isn't that surprising, really, because for one thing, Slowbro has always been, Galarian Slowbro, he's always been, not the best of the Slow brothers, really. He's always kind of been, the outcast. His stats aren't bad, but they're just kind of like kind of all over the place. Like, he's not really, like, it's not like the other guys where, like, they're specializing in something like defenses or whatnot. He's just kind of like, just like very neutral stats, I guess. He still has amazing moves. Like, his coverage is, like, insane. But yeah, I mean, he's good, but he's not that good, he could see some usage in OU, or excuse me, UU. I could definitely see that. But maybe not at the same time. Who knows? He could be dropped down to RU, but I think either way, I think he's in a better spot down in these tiers than in OU for sure. And I mean, hey, he got your quick claw, quick draw shenanigans. So yeah, you can go nuts with that. And then Slowking is like, I mean, Slowking only rose up like briefly when Walking Wake came out, I believe. And then that's like sort of died down. I also play just like Galarian Slowking is in the game now, which I feel like if you're playing OU, like, you pretty much most of the time gonna want Galarian instead of regular, just because I feel like it's a little better. So yeah, people moving away from the regular form, which I guess makes sense. But now he's back in UU, and now he can start doing his thing again. He can start getting chilly on everybody again. Yes sir, yes sir. Good to have you back, Slowking. Good to have you back as always. Thundurus, ooh, is a little stinky. It's a little kind of spooky, because Thundurus is a very good mon. Now he hasn't been OU for a while now, I feel like, but he's still a demon in UU, I feel like, especially now, because we don't got him power, but we do have the next best thing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely kind of spooky. Might want to watch out for this guy. But yeah, he's definitely, I feel like, in OU, I don't know, but like in UU at least, I feel like it's definitely worth like considering running this guy just for the Terra, because I feel like he's just so freaking strong with it, dude. Like, you get the ice coverage, bro, and you're just like I just think there's not that much to switch in. Like, it's just, you just kind of melt everything. I feel like, especially this one, bro, with this special attack, bro. Stop that. like this thing's very scary with Terra. I feel like, and I'm not surprised if one of these or both of them possibly end up getting banned in the future. Because yeah, he's just really, really scary. And I mean, I feel like both of these guys have been like kind of around like BL for a while now. They kind of, been in that spot, like too strong to be UU, but like still not great enough to be OU consistently. So it's like, yeah, kind of is what it is. But yeah, definitely watch out for them in UU because they're pretty scary looking. I'm not gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. Torkoal, we already talked about. Tornadus Therian. This is a historic moment, folks. All right, because this mon, as far as I remember, has never ever been UU before at all. This thing was Ubers when it came out in Gen 5 because it was broken on rain. And ever since it's been like an OU staple, but not anymore. Why? Well, quite simple. It lost its defog, which was kind of his main thing that he did. So yeah, it's very sad to see the fall off of our boy. I mean, I still think he's a great mon. Like he's a really good mon. Like he's definitely has his uses, but like I don't know, man. It's just rough. It's just rough being a Tornadus nowadays. Actually, probably want Bleak Windstorm. I mean, I think he's a great pivot with boots. And he does have nasty plots still, so the potential for a offensive set is there, of course. I still think he's a phenomenal mon. I feel like he can never be bad. He's flying types are great. He's got so much speed. Regenerator's amazing ability, but like I don't know, losing defog really hurts this dude. I don't see him being that broken in UU because again, there's no rain, so you can't like hurricane spam. I mean, the nasty plot set could maybe be like a little bit too much going forward, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens. Hisuian Typhlosion. So this is another mod that I think is going to be really, really good with the sun because you got that eruption baby with the scarf that's going to be doing a lot of damage, doing crazy damage in the sun, especially if you decide to Terra. And he's got his move Infernal Parade, and he's got the Focus Blast for coverage. I think this guy's very solid, even beyond Sun. Honestly, he's just like a good, like Fire Ghost is such a good typing, right? Which now I'm realizing we now have 3 mons with that typing in UU, which is pretty funny. But I think funny enough, they all do pretty different stuff. So it's honestly they don't really compete with each other that much. But I think Typhlosion, as far as being offensive mon that can just throw out strong fire and ghost moves, like I think he's got a lot of potential. Mainly the scarf set, but Specs also an option. Yeah, even without Sun, I think he's gonna be really good in UU. Just like a really great offensive fire type. Looking forward to seeing him in action. Yuxi drop down. So it'll be interesting to see. We have Yuxi and Cresselia in the same tier. We'll see which one people gravitate towards more. But Yuxi, always had an insane amount of utility moves that it can take advantage of. It's very bulky, but at the same time, I just feel like defensive psychic types have never really been it. Like it's not the best type defensively, and like I don't know. It's just a little awkward. I mean, he still has a lot going for him. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm still not quite sure if he's UU material, but we'll have to wait and see. And then finally, the last drop to UU is freaking Zapdos G, which is kind of crazy because this is a very good mon. This is an insanely good mon. This mon's kind of cracked just a little bit. I don't know if this thing's gonna stay UU because it's crazy strong. I mean, he's great with the scarf. He's got fantastic dual stab coverage. He's got the U-turn. He's got great attack. He's just and like with Terra, bro. With Terra, stop. Yeah, I don't know about this guy. If he can hang in UU, he might be a little too much. But hey, we'll see. I mean, him going BL wouldn't surprise me. But only time will tell, I suppose. So that is all the drops to UU. Ooh, tier is definitely completely different now with all this new stuff. I definitely, encourage you all to go try out the new mons, especially the ones you think are going to get banned, because that's always fun. And yeah, it'll be really fun to play OU or UU, excuse me, for the next couple weeks or so. See how the meta develops. That'll be really fun to see. As far as the other drops, Avalugg, Delphox, Houndstone, and Zarude went straight from OU to RU, so I'm assuming that's based on usage. So like the less usage a mod had, the further down it would drop. Kind of surprised Avalugg ended up in RU and not lower, because Sui and Avalugg, not that great. But Delphox and RU I think has potential. I feel like that thing is pretty great with Terra, honestly. So we'll see. I feel like you can put in some work. Houndstone, fallen off, not surprising. If you guys didn't know, they banned Last Respect, so now Houndstone is legal again. Except without Last Respects, he doesn't have a lot going for him. I mean, he's like the only mon with Sand Rush in the game, which is like cool, I guess, but he's not that great of a sand sweeper because he doesn't get a lot of good moves, unfortunately, besides Last Respect. So we'll see what happens. He does have the one thing, the freaking Fluffy said, which is pretty decent for being like just defensive, because you got the Will-O-Wisp and the body press, and I mean you still don't have like really good ghost coverage, but I mean maybe Phantom Force can get the job done. And then like what else do you run? I don't know, like freaking maybe just protect, just for, like leftovers recovery. I don't know. This set's okay, could be good. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens with Houndstone. But, I mean, hey, he's back, so that's cool to see. Zarude and RU is really interesting. I feel like Zarude's usually been a UU mon. We'll see if he lasts in RU. I mean, he got nerfed a little bit, right? Because he lost freaking Darkest Lariat. So now you gotta run Crunch. But he does have close combat. Yeah, he's still always been a solid mon in my opinion. Just good stats overall. So we'll see if he's too much for RU or not. We'll see what happens with that. Hoopa in NU is insane. That mon is super getting banned. There's no shot this thing hangs around. Yeah, this thing's way too strong for freaking NU, bro. Like this thing is not staying around, bro. No shot, no freaking shot. This thing is way too good to be NU. This thing's gonna break through everything. This special attack, bro. Get out of here. This mon cannot hang. Absolutely not. Mesprit is fine in NU. I feel like that's normally where it ends up. It's not always been the worst of the Lake Trio, unfortunately, but it's always been pretty solid at the lower tiers. So that's cool for Mesprit. Raichu, Alolan Raichu in NU is cool. I feel like it'd be pretty good. Tornadus in NU is crazy. That is super disrespectful. He'll probably also get banned because bro, like he's freaking Tornadus, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, he's not what he used to be, but like, still, put some respect on him, bro. Put some freaking respect on my boy. Come on, man. Don't do him like that, bro. Yeah, I don't think he's staying in the NU either. So that'll be interesting. Those two dudes being there is kind of crazy. Weirdier in NU. Sure, that sounds about right. And then these clowns, which are, probably belong in PU, very, underwhelming. But we got a Alolan Persian though. I gotta put some respect on him. He's pretty decent. I guess Tauros too. He's all right, but like, I don't know. these mons generally just don't cut it. So that's basically it, right? I think mostly. I do want to say Blissey dropping down to NU is fucking insane, and I don't know how to feel about it. The fall off of this mon is crazy, which like I'm not upset about it, because like who likes playing against Blissey? But like, bro, NU, this thing was like OU forever, and now this. What happened? What happened? They nerfed Stall, that's what happened. But like, still, like, goddamn, bro. I don't even know if this thing will stick around in NU. I mean, what tier is Chansey in? Chansey's also NU, so you know what? Maybe Blissey will be fine if Chansey can stay. But you know, if Blissey's in NU now, Chansey probably will drop down further. Which we'll see. We'll see how PU deals with Chansey. God, that just sounds fucking disgusting to say. What a time we're living in, folks. What a time. What a time. A lot of snow guys dropped down to NU. Looks like got a Abomasnow, a Titan, Frostmoth. Like, could be interesting. Maybe snow not doing it anymore in RU. It looks like, so maybe we can do something in NU. We'll see. Grimmsnarl being in NU is kind of disgusting. That thing seems like it'll be annoying as hell. Did they ban Light Clay in the lower tiers? I feel like they did, right? Let me check. I think that's the thing, because if they didn't ban Light Clay, this thing's gonna be fucking disgusting. I think they did though. Yeah, Light Clay's banned. So yeah, probably won't be that crazy, but he's still like an amazing screen setter if you want that. Having him in the lower tiers is kind of crazy. But I think that's about everything. Going on for over an hour now. This is a very insane tier shift for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to playing on the ladder in the upcoming weeks, as like, you know, we're still getting settled into, you know, what's good, what's not, what's gonna stay, what's gonna get banned, and what's like gonna be the meta going forward. Very crazy stuff, but it's very exciting at the same time. So yeah. But that's it from me. I've been going on for long enough. Let me guys know what your thoughts on the tier shift are down in the comments. And with all that, I think I'm going to dip. So have yourselves a good one, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Take care.